Hundreds of people in Washington state prisons will be let go early. That is Governor Inslee's plan to keep prisoners safe during the coronavirus outbreak. So who will be set free? Prisoners with nonviolent and drug or alcohol related crimes with fewer than 8 months left on their sentences could be released early, which could mean early freedom for 600 to 900 inmates soon, so soon that some of the victims may not be contacted before the release. Drew Mickelson questioned the governor about that today.
The details of these releases became public following a lawsuit filed here with the state Supreme Court on behalf of some inmates. Since then, we have seen protests, a prison riot, even demonstrations right here on these Capitol campus grounds. This past weekend, relatives of inmates called on the governor to release their loved ones from custody, saying it might save their lives. And those families do not think enough inmates are going to be released early.
We're scared. We want to come home.
Last week, offenders at the minimum security Cedar Creek Correction Center staged a peaceful protest at the prison fence. But about 100 up at Monroe got violent, damaging prison doors and mirrors, turning over tables, even threatening to take hostages after being told they needed to be separated after a half dozen fellow offenders tested positive for coronavirus. Monday, Governor Jay Inslee announced that nearly 1,000 inmates will be released early and soon, and he revealed that may surprise their victims.
There simply is not time to do victim notification and negotiation to comply with the Supreme Court order. So these are emergency decisions. They are pursuant to order of the state Supreme Court, and we are moving as quickly as possible to be in compliance with that and what is good public policy.
In some more traditional governor's business, Inslee named Judge G. Helen Whitener to the Washington State Supreme Court. Justice Whitener has been a Pierce County Superior Court judge after working as both a prosecutor and a defender. She's replacing Justice Charles Wiggins, who retired from the bench after serving on the state Supreme Court for 10 years. Speaking of the state Supreme Court, they are still practicing, they are still hearing cases and making rulings, but it's all being done remotely. In Olympia, Drew Mickelson, King 5 News.
Thank you, Drew. Some drivers are taking advantage of the drop in traffic during this pandemic in a dangerous way. The State Patrol has been catching people going way above the speed limit. Trooper Rick Johnson tweeted this car was stopped going 120 miles per hour. Another trooper, Heather Axman in Snohomish County, caught a driver going 20 miles per hour over the speed limit, which will cost that driver $550.
The city of Seattle is handing out $10,000 checks to struggling small business owners. Only a lucky few will actually receive the money. Thousands of people applied to get it. King 5's Chris Daniels is standing by. So, Chris, how did the city even begin to figure out who gets the money and who doesn't?
Mark, people had to fall within a certain criteria, for instance, having fewer than 5 employees or being in a certain neighborhood. It has been a life preserver for small businesses which saw their revenue end overnight at the start of this crisis.
I'm pretty sure that I'm one of the very few females in this field.
Dana Neely was living the dream.
Girls Gone Barbecue is a catering company. I serve up Arkansas-style hickory smoked barbecue.
The bottom of her West Seattle business dropped out February 29th.
You went from 100 to 0 just like that, right?
Yeah, pretty much. It was pretty crazy, Burgess. I went from catering to nothing.
The city of Seattle is giving Neely a $10,000 check to try and stem the tide. The money is coming from the Small Business Stabilization Fund, which was created by a federal block grant. 250 businesses will get a check out of 9,000 applicants. Seattle Mayor Jenny Durkin.
Is a $10,000 grant enough for these businesses, these micro businesses, to stay afloat?
Not for the long term. I mean, we viewed all of this funding to be something that could be a stopgap effort that just try to get people until federal money could start being made available.
The grants are focused on high displacement areas and communities of color. A gym and child care facility in Columbia City received a grant, as did the neighboring Teriyaki Place and ice cream shop, or the Salon and Combat Arts Academy in West Seattle and the struggling pizzeria. Considering the demand and the lottery system that was used, Neely feels like at least she won some time.
I was terrified. I didn't know if I'd be able to stay I mean, this grant has literally given me hope to keep my business going.
We're told by the city that 80% of the grant recipients were businesses owned by people of color. I talked to another business owner today who told me that the grant should allow them to cover partial employee wages in the near term, and yet another business told me today that this grant will help them cover expenses through mid-May. That's the story for now. I'm Chris Daniels, reporting live, King 5 News.